So we were talking about the experiences of meditation and how it affects our activity in life. Meditation is a way of experiencing subtler levels of activity. Now, the definition of activity changes from level to level. We'll explain it with the help of an analogy. Suppose a company is there and it is constructing a building, it's constructing a house. So most of the work, when you see when the house is being built, you find that it is the labor who is picking bricks from here and putting it there, and the building is being constructed. But when the building is complete, then you normally find on a board which says this building was made by such and such architect. But while the building was being built, you didn't see the architect there. He never came to the building site. He never picked even a single brick. So the definition of doing here, we can see, is different from different levels. For the labor, when two workers will be talking to each other, you can hear them say that, oh, we are the ones who do all the work, we are sweating in the sun and doing all those things. But these other people, these engineers, they are sitting in the offices, air conditioned offices, not working at all, they are getting more salary. And from their point of view, it is justified, because for them, work means moving their hands and feet and running around and putting things from here to there. If we take this one step further, the next level is the level of the supervisor. Now the work that these labor are doing, you can see what is happening. But the work that the supervisor is doing cannot be seen. You will see just he is standing somewhere. But even his work you can hear. When he is giving instructions to the labor, one can hear that he is doing something. But he is moving a very small part of his body. Instead of moving his feet and hands, he is just moving the tongue. So that is an example of a subtler activity. Less energy is being consumed because he is moving a small part. He gets more comfort. He doesn't have to stand in the sun where all the workers are. He can, in the shade of a tree, he can sit and from there itself give orders. He gets more salary also. So everything becomes better when the level is raised from the physical gross activity to a subtler activity of speaking. Next level would be the level of the engineer. The engineer, the work that he is doing is neither seen nor heard. He is doing something in his brain. And he doesn't even come to the site most of the time. But he gets more salary, he gets even more comfort than the supervisor, he gets even more money, he gets more satisfaction. So this is an example of how doing less and accomplishing more. You can take this example even further. The next level would be architect. Even the engineer has to calculate a lot of things, how much cement will be needed, and lot of calculations has to be done. But the architect, he simply imagines how the building should look like. And it is his name that is put on the board when the building is completed. But there is one level even above that, and that is the level of the owner. He doesn't do anything. He just desires that the building should be built, and everybody starts doing their work and the building gets built. So this is the method of being promoted in our organization. When we say a person, everybody wants to get promoted in an organization. But it's important to understand, what do we mean by promotion? Promotion basically means shifting our activity from grosser activity to subtler activity to subtler activity. And this is what practice of meditation is all about. Because normally as human beings, because we are thinking beings, we already know the importance of thinking. Common saying is that think before you act. If you start acting without thinking, then you'll be doing a lot of running around and not much will be accomplished. But if you plan ahead, you make a proper thought out plan, and then a little bit of doing accomplishes the work. So thinking, the importance of thinking as human beings, we all understand. What we do not understand is that just like in speaking we can speak louder and softer, similarly thinking also can be grosser, subtler and subtler. And just like thinking is more important than physical doing, similarly, one step further we can take that subtler levels of thinking are more important than grosser level of thinking. Normally we think, or thinking is just thinking. What do we mean by subtle thinking or gross thinking? But that is what one starts to experience when one starts to practice meditation. In transcendental meditation, transcend means to go beyond. And what happens in this meditation is that we start with the normal thinking activity that every day we are using, but then we go beyond this level of activity to a more subtler level of activity, and it happens completely effortlessly, automatically, because of the nature of the mind itself. And we start to experience levels of mind which are more subtle, more quiet, but more powerful. As same in the organization's example, when we go to from gross activity level to subtle activity level, the power of that person increases. An architect is more powerful than the engineer. Engineer is more powerful than the supervisor, and he's more powerful than the labor. So these levels, different levels of thinking, the subtler levels of thinking are more powerful than the grosser level of thinking. But if we have never experienced those subtler levels of thinking, we can't work at that level. So meditation at least allows you to experience that there are these various subtler levels of thinking also, and then you transcend even that level to still more subtler level and still more subtler level. And ultimately, like in the organization, there's an owner who doesn't do anything. You come to a level which is completely silent, no mental activity, but the most powerful level of the mind. And the very presence of that level is enough for all other levels to do their work and accomplish everything. So the saying goes, do less and accomplish more. Doing less here means doing subtler activity which uses less energy, which is less tiring, which is more pleasant also. So things which are more pleasant, more subtle are also more effective. It's opposite to the normal understanding. Normally people think in order to accomplish one thing, something, you have to suffer, you have to work hard. Working hard, there's a saying, don't work hard, work smart. Working smart is more important than working hard. Who works more? The engineer works more or the labor works more? On the grosser level, visible level, it is the labor who are working more. They are spending more energy. But actually it is the engineer who is working more, even though he is not spending that much energy. So this is what we mean by doing less and accomplishing more, and transcendental meditation as an effective means of promoting ourselves in our own organization. And once we promote ourselves in our own organization, it's very natural that in the outside work also, whichever organization one is working for, automatically we will get promotion in that organization also. So in a professional life, the secret of success is practice transcendental meditation regularly, morning and evening, and whatever you are doing in your office, in your factory, wherever you are working, people will start realizing that you need to be promoted to a higher level because you are more familiar with the subtler levels of thinking, and life will be a continuous process of greater and greater happiness, greater and greater peace, and at the same time greater and greater success.